Is the garden coming back?
That's the cut off part, that's fresh.
Dude, that's premium. People pay extra for a garden.
Quick release indicator light.
Is it manual windows?
Manual windows. First time start, here we go. Here we go. First try. Nice. Guys, look how clean it is. It's brand new. Holy shit. Except for this.
Yeah. Look at the door card.
Look at the door card.
Brand new, he said.
There's nothing wrong with it. What are you talking about? So, Camry time. Get out of here.
Day 2 of Lemon.
No, this is day 3. Day 1 was getting the car. Day 2 was cleaning the car. And day 3 is diagnosing the issue to why the car isn't holding coolant. Should we show them? Should we show them what happens when you try to put water in this car?
Are we flooding the garage today?
Engine bay's looking clean at least. That's not to worry about. Oh yes, let's get this cap off. Oh boy, there we go. Absolutely no coolant in there. Nice. And it's all murky as shit. But Lachlan, do you want to demonstrate what happens when we put water in this car?
This clear water becomes poo-poo brown on the other end.
That's where the oil goes.
Is it leaking yet?
And
Oh, nice. It's just full coming out. It's not even staying in there. Dude, what do you reckon? What do you reckon that is? I honestly reckon that's just a water pump.
Cracked block.
So the plan in today's video is to jack the car up and try to remove all the panels to where we think the possible leak could be. The previous owner did say that he has a suspicion that it's the water pump because that's what he was told from the mechanic that he took it to. So we need to remove the wheel, we need to take off some of the covers of the engine bay. I'm probably just going to get rid of this coolant overflow tank right there because it's just in the way and it is broken. There's no point really even having it here. In order to get this car working, we do need the car to hold coolant in the first place. Otherwise we just can't drive it, and then Lachlan will never learn how to drive manual and he'll be just stuck with his automatic BMW.
Why are you worried about that?
We're not taking anything off today. We're just jacking up and having a look.
No, we're not going to be able to see anything if we do that.
Well, what do you do? We just sit under the car. Why don't we just fill the engine with dirt? May as well just completely fuck it.
So just for everyone who's curious, this is why we bought the car. We saw that the...
Nice.
Okay.
We did check the oil and we saw that, and it doesn't seem to have any sort of like murkiness to it or any sort of problems, so that's why we got it.
It doesn't smell like maple syrup.
Exactly.
It smells like honey instead.
And like, the guy could have just changed it before we got it, but I doubt that considering...
They can't drive.
Like, when he first tried to start it, the car didn't start, it didn't turn over until like the third.
It's not filled with fuck.
Dun, dun, dun. So as you can see, we've taken the fender liner off the Camry and we have more room to see where the leak is coming from. So what I'm going to get Lachlan to do is pour the water in so we can see if the leak is in this general direction at all. Like I said, I think it's the water pump, and you can see where the water pump would be. It'd probably be around there. We've taken the fender lining off so we can have a lot more clearance on moving our hands about and all that. Hopefully we can find out what the hell's going on. Put in like a little bit, just a little bit. You just did a little bit, yeah? Do you see any sort of like leak anywhere else? Like you can't see, okay, sweet. So I think it's the water pump because it's coming from where it would be, which is just behind that little cover over there. I guess the next thing we need to do is just really just take off all these pulleys and stuff. You can see it's from that like little crank space right there where the belt is. It's just like on this side, yeah?
This is... What's this thing here?
That's the, it's just the crankshaft pulley.
Yeah.
And that moves everything.
So it looks like it's coming from like higher up there.
Yeah.
But there's no belt up there, is there?
It's not coming from there, it's coming directly here. It's like somewhere here. And there's a pulley there. So we do know that the fluid that we poured in is coming out from this left side of the engine bay. And the only thing that's situated in this left side of the engine bay is the water pump. It's also where the timing belt is, and obviously that's how the water pump works. It just runs off a pulley, so T-belt, whatever. But there's some sort of belts here that run the water pump that we need to, that's where we think the leak is, because on the other side there's no leaks. Wherever all the hoses are, there's no leaks, so it must be the water pump. We're going to go ahead and start trying to remove parts out of the engine bay to clear it, stuff that we don't even need to be in there, just like the washer fluid, because we're not going to really use that.
Do that.
And also just these things here, and then we might start removing like engine mounts and shit, but we'll see how it goes. It really is just a little bit of an experiment, see if we can figure out what the hell's going on. We have had a massive breakthrough doing this. Nathan and I have been here for the past like hour or so, disassembling the timing belt cover, removing all like the little bits all out the way.
All we had to do was take off the timing cover, and that's the thing that gave us the hint, because what was happening was, if you point the camera down here, you'd start it, the pulley off the crank was spinning. It was spinning everything, and it was flinging water from the broken water pump, which is here.
Yeah, you can actually see like the flinging all the water everywhere. You can see all across there. There should be water coming from there if you fill it up. So what's happened is when this the water pump's on, it just flings all the water up everywhere because it's running off this pulley and there's fins everywhere. So
what about here?
See in here, all the water is just like, put the light on a bit more. You can see there is just so much water everywhere, and that's only possible from the water pump flinging all the water out everywhere. So I think we've definitely found the problem. Yeah, 100%. Toyota quoted us $750 to fix this car, fix the water pump. And we're going to be doing this for just the cost of the water pump. And check this out as well. Have a look at this. This timing belt looks brand new. Look at that. It's literally
Luckily we found the leak pretty early, because the water would have fucking eaten this up.
It's like just been replaced, because it's the car's done 127,000 kilometers. So obviously they've just replaced it.
My Passat from 2009 has done 122,000. So this car is 13 years older.
13 years older than Nathan's Passat.
Yeah, and it's done only 5,000 Ks more.
Yeah, crazy, yeah? This engine's brand new.
Oh, and we also took it for a little spin up the street. Spins the tires with like, what, a quarter throttle?
I was just driving it up and down the street because obviously we can't run it for too long. And I was in second gear, tap the throttle a little bit, and the wheels just go shh.
No, it was first.
No, I was second.
There was no way it would be second.
No, I'm pretty sure it was second. Or maybe it was first, I don't know.
We only go up to second down the street. When you turned it back around, you blipped it a bit and it spun the tires.
Oh, okay, it was first gear, fuck. But I think
5,000 Newton meters of torque.
I think we've definitely found the problem, and I'm so glad, because this is just going to be an easy flip if we do decide to sell it. Lachlan! We have a surprise for you. Dude, we've like taken everything apart on the Camry, and I think we know the problem. Wait, what's this? The hell?
New surprise.
What's this?
The fuck? Camry, BMW, MR2.
Yeah, don't worry about the Passat.
Passat. Dude, Lachlan, what the fuck what did you buy?
New bumper, dude.
For what? For this?
Yeah.
You wanna elaborate? What the hell's going on?
YOLO purchased a M3 bumper.
Oh my god. I reckon it's gonna take Lachlan longer to take his bumper off than what we just did, Nathan. I reckon.
Are you gonna do a kidney transplant, Lachlan?
Yeah, I have to.
Dude, what the hell?
Fucking huge, yeah?
You're probably like...
See where you think the water pump is.
What, this thing here?
Oh, he's spotted it already.
What the fuck?
That's the
Other
water
than
pump.
Russ.
Yeah, you see?
Oh my lord.
All of this, you know what it was doing?
What?
It was spinning around and spitting water all over here.
You can see, because there's no possible chance water can actually be in here when you pour it. So
Yeah,
what's
look at
happening? It's
this.
all internal.
Lachlan?
So we were right.
Right.
Yeah.
Look at the bottom of it. That's where all the water was going.
Juicy.
Yeah.
So we're pretty much up to the stage where we're going to remove the water pump. Well, not entirely yet, but we do need to go ahead and get the water pump. So just Lachlan and I are going to head down to Super Cheap Auto and get the water pump. Lachlan, can you explain to us as well what the hell is going on here?
So the front bumper, as you can see, has already been removed.
Oh, look at that. Keen. We'll show you that, obviously, on Instagram. Super Cheap Auto, much more.
You never wrong, I'm never right. You went all around, terrified. That's why can't see the day we always getting away. You just keep getting away. You just keep getting away. So I decided not to get in the way. It's time to do it my way, and that means getting.
So it's now day number 2. and Nathan and I have fully figured out the problem. We can definitely see that it was the water pump failing. So you can see down there, you can see right down there that there's actually, yeah, point it down here. You can see right there where it's leaking. And it's all right there where the water pump is. 100%.
You can see everything is nice, and then you have the crustiness there.
Exactly, so it has to be the water pump.
There.
So I guess we'll go ahead and remove this water pump. One thing that I'm worried about though is that because of all the water dripping down towards where the crankshaft is, where the crank pulley is and all that stuff, I just hope it hasn't ruined any of the other bolts. Right now I'm looking at the bolts and I can see that they're kind of rusted, and hopefully the water pump kit comes with new bolts. Hopefully it doesn't strip when we try to take it out, but...
Hello, my name is Nathan. So what we're doing at the moment is very important. We are setting the motor to top dead center. If you don't do this, your engine will
be out of time.
And your pistons will kiss the valves.
Well, no, this is a non-interference engine.
No, but if it's like a Blockland's BMW.
Shitbox.
Yeah. Or my R36.
Shitbox.
Debatable. The pistons will kiss the valves, and you'll have babies.
So we're putting marks on the timing belt right now. So we can see that this mark here, the white mark, was previously put on the camshaft gear, the cam gear right here. Okay. But this yellow dot here is the one that's supposed to line up with this little indentation there.
On the timing cover.
On the timing cover, so that all makes sense.
You want to make sure that that's...
And you can see there's a little groove in the cam.
Yeah, you can see the groove. That yellow one.
Yep.
Right there. It's got the same thing here.
And then we also have to line this up to 0 down there.
So you see that little indentation? You want that to be on 0. Nothing else.
This is how we actually rotated the engine.
Yep.
Breaker bar on the...
So Rex was delegated to starter motor position. So Rex the starter motor. Look at the brakes.
Ooh, crusty.
Look at the groove.
Ooh.
You want to make sure that your brake is also set to top dead center, which indicated by this mark. So you want to turn it. You want to make sure your brake fluid your power steering fluid is set to top dead center. Your oil cap, your alternator, like this. Your
Okay, Nathan.
your battery. Okay. See, top dead center.
So now we're going to remove the timing belt, then get this water pump out and see the damage. Hopefully it's not too bad, otherwise we're fucked.
So what we're doing now is filming Rex's ear canal. What we're doing is we're loosening the tensioner on the timing belt.
And there's 2 bolts connected to this penis. I finally pulled the dick out of the butt. You see
This Camry is homosexual.
We just stopped this Camry from having more kids.
You chemically castrated it.
Boy oh boy, it's a mess in here. So it's now the next day, so this is day number like 3 or something like that. And after Nathan left, I went ahead and removed the water pump, all the like the water inlet pipe and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know if I mentioned, but like early on, before I even got the car, Lachlan and I already knew that this car, the engine made like a weird scorching sound. It was like if that makes sense. And we were hoping it wasn't like anything to do with the top end of the engine. We thought it could have been like, because the guy hadn't put water in the engine, it just overheated and it could have like screwed something up. But after taking the water pump out, I found out what that noise was. So if we come down here, here's the water pump finally out of the car, and listen to this. Does not sound good at all, and that was definitely the culprit of that sound. Another thing is we're gonna have to get a new thermostat, because I can't remove that out of the housing. I don't know if I'm just doing it wrong, but I can't get that out. I think it's just rusted in there. Simply because if we look down here, unfortunately we have a lot of mess that needs to be cleaned up. I need to remove all the old gasket and then have to flush the coolant, because it is really crusty in there. Like it is next level bad, guys. It's really bad. Like you can see the coolant in there. It's horrible. So my theory on why the car ended up being like this is because the previous owner probably did like regular oil changes when he was supposed to, but they obviously never change the coolant in the car, because what my dad was saying is that these cars are notorious for water pump failure because, you know, Camry owners aren't really car enthusiasts, so they don't really care about their car at all, and they don't even bother changing the coolant in them. And that eventually eats away at the gasket, just starts corroding things, I guess, and in the end you get water pump failure, which is exactly what we have. We're still gonna wait a couple days until we get the water pump. I think it's coming either tomorrow or the next day, and then hopefully we'll be able to like clean everything up. You can see the disassembly as well required to do this job is quite big, so it makes a lot of sense why Toyota charges $700 to get this job done. I think the total cost of this is going to cost nearly around $150, $200 simply because we've got to buy coolant and coolant flushing stuff and that new thermostat and obviously the water pump. So roughly $150, $200. So a lot cheaper than $750, which was quoted from Toyota. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for more Camry videos. Obviously we need to get this thing back on the road so we can actually drive it and teach Lachlan how to drive manual. It's pretty annoying. It's been in the garage for about 5 days now, but we will get it fixed. Anyway, catch you guys in the next one.